Will you marry me, but on one condition?
Sofia Russo is 24 years old, working 3 jobs, drowning in debt, and about to lose everything she has left in this world. Then she spills an entire tray of chocolate torte on a billionaire mafia boss in the middle of the most expensive restaurant in Manhattan. She thinks her life is over. Instead, he hands her a business card and says 4 words that will change everything. I need your help. 24 hours later, she's sitting in his penthouse signing a contract to pretend to be his wife for 5 days at his family's Christmas estate. The pay? Enough money to solve every problem keeping her awake at night. The catch? One rule that makes her blood run cold. Rule 1. She can never, under any circumstances, be alone with any male member of his family. Break this rule, and the contract is void. She gets nothing. But when Sofia asks why such an extreme condition exists, Dante Morelli looks her dead in the eyes and says something that makes her realize she's just entered a world far more dangerous than she ever imagined. This is the story of how a desperate waitress became a mafia wife for Christmas, and how 5 days of pretending became the most real thing either of them ever experienced. Welcome back to Ken Romance Stories, where we bring you tales of love that defy logic, challenge expectations, and prove that sometimes the most dangerous deals lead to the most unexpected destinations. I'm your narrator, and today's story is about Sofia, a young woman so desperate to survive that she agreed to play wife to a man who could destroy her with a single phone call. Before we dive into this Christmas tale of contracts and consequences, we have something special for you. We're creating an exclusive PDF collection of 100 powerful love quotes about boundaries, protection, and choosing love over fear. If you want early access when it drops, comment, "Love is sweet" below, and we'll make sure you're the first to know. Now, let me tell you about the night Sofia Russo's life changed forever, and how a spilled dessert became the beginning of something neither she nor Dante Morelli saw coming. The scent of pine and cinnamon hits Sofia the moment she pushes through the heavy glass doors of Bellissimo, the kind of restaurant where a single appetizer costs more than her weekly rent. It's Christmas Eve, and the dining room is packed with Manhattan's elite, dripping in designer clothes and inherited wealth. Sofia adjusts her black apron, still damp from scrubbing a coffee stain in the staff bathroom minutes earlier. Her reflection in the polished silver catches her eye. Dark circles she tried to cover with drugstore makeup. Hair pulled back so tight it makes her scalp ache. Eyes that forgot how to shine somewhere between her father's funeral and the eviction notice currently sitting on her kitchen counter. She's been working at Bellissimo for 3 months, long enough to recognize the regulars who tip 20% and the ones who treat servers like furniture. Long enough to know which tables are easy and which ones will make her want to quit by the end of the night. But she's never seen the man at table 7 before. He sits with his back to the wall. Always a telling detail. The booth has been roped off all evening, and Sofia's manager Marco has been checking his phone every 5 minutes, adjusting the table settings 3 times, sweating through his expensive shirt. When the guest finally arrives with 2 stone-faced associates and what are clearly bodyguards positioned at strategic points around the dining room, Sofia understands why. This is a man who commands fear with his presence alone. Dante Morelli is 32 years old, but he carries himself like someone who's seen 50 years of life and survived every brutal moment. Dark hair swept back from a face that belongs on Renaissance paintings. Sharp jawline that could cut glass. Olive skin that catches the candlelight and makes it look like he's glowing from within. eyes so dark they appear black in the restaurant's romantic lighting. He wears a suit that probably costs more than Sofia makes in 6 months, and he wears it like armor, like power, like violence wrapped in Italian wool. Sofia approaches the table with her practiced smile, the one that hides exhaustion and desperation in equal measure. "Good evening, gentlemen. What can I get for you?" Dante's eyes lift to hers, and the world tilts slightly on its axis. He doesn't look at her the way other patrons do, through her, past her, at her with impatience when she's not fast enough. He looks at her like she's a puzzle he intends to solve, piece by careful piece. "The Barolo," he says, his accent placing him somewhere between Brooklyn and the old country. "The 2015. Sofia nods, grateful for the excuse to escape that penetrating gaze. But as she turns, his voice stops her again. "You're new here." It's not a question, a statement delivered with absolute certainty. Sofia faces him again, clutching her order pad like a shield. 3 months, sir. You don't belong here." Again, not a question. Heat creeps up Sofia's neck. "I'm sorry if my service isn't—" "That's not what I meant." He leans back, leather creaking softly beneath him. One of his companions whispers something, but Dante waves the man silent without breaking eye contact with Sofia. "You move like someone who's afraid of taking up space, like you're apologizing for existing." The observation lands like a physical blow. Sofia opens her mouth, closes it, feels her carefully constructed composure cracking at the edges. "The wine, sir." "I'll get your wine." She flees before he can strip away any more of the protective layers she's built between herself and the world. In the temperature-controlled wine room, her hands shake as she retrieves the bottle. She has to read the label twice to make sure she has the right year. When she returns to table 7, Dante is alone. The 2 men have vanished, though Sofia spots them near the bar, speaking in low tones to Marco. The bodyguard remains, statue still by the booth. "Your companions?" Sofia asks, as she presents the bottle for his inspection. "Business associates," Dante says, studying the label before nodding. "They'll return." Sofia goes through the ritual of opening the wine, hyper-aware of his attention on her movements. Her fingers fumble with the foil cutter, and she feels her cheeks burn with embarrassment. But when she glances up, he's not looking at her hands. He's looking at her face with an intensity that makes breathing difficult. "What's your name?" The question is quiet, but commands an answer. "Sofia." The response is automatic, though she immediately regrets giving it. "Sofia." He repeats it slowly, like he's tasting each syllable. "It means wisdom." "Yes, sir." "Stop calling me sir." There's no harshness in his tone, but the command is clear. "My name is Dante." Sofia pours the wine with trembling hands, praying she won't spill it on the pristine tablecloth. "Is there anything else you need, Mr. Dante?" "Just Dante," he corrects. "Is there anything else you need, Dante?" Something flickers in his expression. Satisfaction, maybe. Or something darker. Not yet. Sofia retreats to the kitchen, pressing her back against the cool wall and trying to steady her racing heart. Through the circular window in the swinging door, she can see him. He's lifted his phone, but he's not looking at it. He's watching the room with the same calculating gaze, sweeping across the other diners with the precision of a predator assessing his territory. "Who is he?" Sofia whispers to Marco as he rushes past with another tray. "You don't want to know," Marco mutters. "Just smile, serve, and forget you ever saw him." But forgetting seems impossible. For the rest of the evening, Sofia feels those dark eyes tracking her movements. Every time she emerges from the kitchen, she finds him watching, Not obviously, not in a way that would draw attention, but she feels it like heat against her skin. When she serves table 3, he's looking. When she clears table 9, he's looking. When she bends to retrieve a fallen napkin near table 15, she glances up to find his gaze fixed on her with such intensity that she nearly drops the entire tray she's carrying. His associates return, along with 2 more men Sofia hasn't seen before. They speak in voices too low to hear, passing a folder back and forth. But Dante's attention keeps drifting back to her. It should frighten her. Perhaps it does. But there's something else beneath the fear. Something she doesn't want to examine too closely. The evening wears on. Sofia's feet ache in her cheap shoes. Her shoulders burn from carrying heavy trays. But every time exhaustion threatens to overwhelm her, she feels that gaze and finds herself standing straighter, moving with more purpose, as if performing for an audience of one. It's nearly 11 when disaster strikes. Sofia is carrying a tray loaded with desserts: tiramisu, panna cotta, chocolate torte. Expensive, delicate, beautiful creations that represent hours of work from Bissimo's celebrated pastry chef. Her worn shoe catches on the edge of carpet that's been displaced by a patron's chair. Time slows as she stumbles forward, the tray tilting. Gravity claiming its inevitable victory. The crash echoes through the dining room like a gunshot. Porcelain shatters. Cream and chocolate and Sofia's entire future spread across the floor in an abstract pattern of disaster. And there, splattered across expensive leather shoes and tailored wool trousers, is what remains of a $200 chocolate torte. Sofia looks up slowly, horror congealing in her throat. Dante stands frozen. Dessert dripping from his pants, his expression unreadable. The entire restaurant has gone silent. His bodyguards have moved forward, hands inside their jackets, and Sofia realizes with sickening clarity that they're reaching for weapons. "I'm so sorry," she chokes out, dropping to her knees without thinking. "I'm so sorry. Please, I'll pay for cleaning. Her hands move on instinct, trying to brush the chocolate from his pants, and she hears someone gasp. Too late, she realizes what she's done. She touched him without permission. Her hands are on him, on a man who commands fear with his presence alone, whose guards are looking at her like she just signed her death warrant. Sofia yanks her hands back, but Dante catches her wrist. His grip is firm but not painful. His skin warm against hers. He pulls her to her feet with effortless strength, and suddenly she's standing close enough to smell his cologne, something dark and woody with notes of bergamot and danger. "Everyone out," he says quietly, not loudly, but every person in that booth moves immediately, melting away like shadows. Even the guards step back, though they keep their eyes fixed on Sofia with lethal focus. They stand in a bubble of silence while the restaurant buzzes with whispers around them. Dante's hand still circles her wrist, his thumb pressed against her racing pulse. He has to feel it, the way her heart hammers against her ribs. "You're terrified," he observes, his voice so low only she can hear it. "Yes," Sofia whispers. "What's the point in lying?" "Good." His free hand comes up and Sofia flinches, but he only tucks a strand of hair that escaped her ponytail behind her ear. The gesture is almost tender, completely at odds with the dangerous man before her. Fear means you're smart. Fear keeps you alive. "Please," Sofia breathes. "I need this job. I can't afford to lose this job." Something shifts in his expression. "Anything," he says, and the word hangs between them, loaded with possibility and peril. "You said you'd do anything." Sofia should qualify it, should backtrack, but desperation makes her honest. Yes, anything. Dante studies her for a long moment, and Sofia watches thoughts flicker behind those dark eyes like fish moving beneath black water. Then he reaches into his jacket slowly, deliberately, letting her see that he's pulling out a wallet, not a weapon. He extracts a cream-colored business card and presses it into her hand. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., this address. His fingers close over hers, trapping the card between their palms. Don't be late, Sofia Russo. He knows her full name. Of course he knows her full name. Then he's gone, moving toward the exit with his entourage forming a protective diamond around him. The other patrons part like the Red Sea, and Sofia stands in the wreckage of broken porcelain and shattered composure, clutching a business card that feels like it's burning through her skin. Marco appears at her elbow, his face pale. What did he say to you? Sofia looks down at the card. No name. Just an address in a part of the city where people like her don't belong. I don't know, she whispers, but I think I just made a deal with the devil. Sofia doesn't sleep that night. The card sits on her nightstand, innocuous as a viper. She stares at it for hours after her shift ends, turning it over in her fingers until the edges grow soft. Her apartment feels smaller than usual in the pre-dawn darkness. The radiator clanks and hisses, struggling against December cold that seeps through windows she covered with plastic sheeting and hope. Water stains bloom across the ceiling like malignant flowers. The refrigerator hums its off-key symphony. Everything in this place is broken or breaking, just like her. The eviction notice is still tucked under her coffee mug on the kitchen counter. 30 days. She has 30 days to come up with 3 months back, rent plus late fees, or she loses everything. The collection agency stopped calling about her father's medical bills. They moved straight to threatening legal action. Her car is one missed payment away from repossession. She's been rationing the medication she needs for the anemia that's plagued her since childhood, stretching a month's supply into 6 weeks and hoping her body doesn't notice the difference. Anything, she'd said to Dante Morelli, like an idiot who never learned that the universe keeps score. At 1:30 in the afternoon, Sofia stands in front of her closet's meager offerings. The black dress from her father's funeral feels too morbid. Her 2 other dresses are either too casual or too worn. She finally settles on dark jeans without any visible holes and a cream sweater that had been nice before countless washes pilled the fabric. She's not trying to impress anyone. She's just trying not to look like what she is, desperate. The address leads her to a neighborhood she's only seen from bus windows. Brownstones with restored facades, streets lined with trees that somehow survive in the concrete. Even the sidewalks look cleaner here. Sofia feels conspicuous in her second-hand coat with its missing button, clutching her bag against her chest like armor. The building is narrower than its neighbors, wedged between 2 larger structures. But there's nothing careless about the glossy black door or the security camera angled above the frame. Before Sofia can knock, the door opens. The man who stands there isn't Dante. This one is older, built like a refrigerator with a scar bisecting his left eyebrow. He looks her up and down with professional assessment. Sofia Russo? Yes. He steps aside. 2nd floor. He's expecting you. The interior bears no resemblance to the modest exterior. Exposed brick walls, gleaming hardwood floors. Modern art that probably costs more than Sofia's yearly salary. Everything speaks of money spent by someone who knows the difference between expensive and valuable. Sofia climbs the stairs, her footsteps echoing. Another guard stands at the landing, younger but equally imposing. He nods as she passes. The second floor opens into what might be a living room in a normal home. Here it's something else. A space caught between residence and fortress. Leather furniture arranged with mathematical precision. Windows that Sofia suspects are bulletproof. Cameras subtle but present in every corner. Dante stands by the window, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in rapid Italian. He wears dark slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled to his elbows, exposing forearms marked with ink she can't quite make out. His hair is slightly disheveled, as if he's been running his hands through it. "I don't care what Salvatore thinks," he says into the phone, his voice carrying an edge. "Tell him if he has concerns, he can bring them to me directly. No more intermediaries." A pause. "Good. And Marco, make sure our friend understands that crossing me isn't the same as crossing my father. I have less tolerance for disrespect." He ends the call and turns to face her. In daylight streaming through those enormous windows, he's even more devastating than he'd been in the restaurant's romantic shadows. The angles of his face seem sharper, his eyes more penetrating. "You came," he says. "You said not to be late." Something that might be amusement flickers across his features. "You're early, by 15 minutes. "I couldn't afford to risk being late." Dante moves toward her with fluid grace. "Do you know who I am, Sofia?" "No." Another truth. "But I'm frightened anyway. Yet you're here, in my home, alone with me." He stops close enough that Sofia has to tilt her head back to maintain eye contact. "Either you're very brave or very desperate." "The second one," Sofia whispers. His hand comes up and Sofia holds herself still as he traces the dark circle under her left eye with his thumb. The touch is gentle, almost clinical. "When did you last sleep?" "I don't remember." "Eat?" Sofia thinks of the ramen packet she had for breakfast, her second that week. "This morning." Dante drops his hand but doesn't step back. "You're drowning, Sofia. I can see it. The question is whether you'll let someone throw you a rope or if you're too proud to grab it." "I'm not proud enough to drown," Sofia says. "Not anymore." He nods slowly, as if she passed some test. Then he moves to the leather sofa and gestures for her to sit. Sofia perches on the edge, hands clasped in her lap. Dante settles across from her, elbows on his knees, attention fixed on her with laser focus. "I'm going to offer you a job," he says. "Not at the restaurant. Something different. Something that will solve your financial problems." Sofia's mouth goes dry. "What kind of job?" "My family is very traditional," Dante begins, leaning back. "Old world values, old world expectations. Every Christmas, we gather at my grandfather's estate in upstate New York. 3 generations of Morellis under one roof, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, and every single year, my grandfather invites eligible women, daughters of his business associates, women from good families who see me as a prize to be won." "That sounds exhausting," Dante finishes. "It's exhausting. I'm 32 years old, and I've spent the last 3 Christmases dodging marriage proposals from women who want my name, my money, my connections, everything except me." Understanding begins to dawn, cold and uncomfortable in Sofia's chest. "You want me to pretend to be your girlfriend?" "Wife," Dante corrects, and the word lands between them with the weight of a bomb. "I want you to pretend to be my wife, just for Christmas. 5 days at the estate. You'll meet my family, play the role of devoted spouse, and when it's over, I'll pay you enough to solve whatever problems are keeping you awake at night." Sofia stares at him, certain she misheard. "You want me to lie to your entire family?" "Yes." "Why me?" The question bursts out. "You're a billionaire. You could hire a professional actress, someone trained for this. Because you're real, Dante says, and there's something raw in his voice. The women my grandfather chooses are polished to a shine. Everything about them is calculated, practiced, but you spilled dessert on me and looked like you expected me to have you killed. That kind of genuine terror can't be faked. That kind of honesty is rare in my world. That's not reassuring. It's not meant to be. He pulls a folder from beneath the coffee table and slides it across to her. This is the contract. Read every word. Understand exactly what you're agreeing to before you sign anything. Sophia's hands tremble as she opens it. The first page outlines compensation, a number that makes her vision swim, enough to cover her rent, her debts, her father's medical bills, enough to leave a cushion that would let her breathe for the first time in years, maybe longer. This is too much, Sophia breathes. It's exactly what it's worth, Dante says. Keep reading. The second page details expectations. Appear affectionate in public. Respond to his touch. Never contradict him in front of his family. Learn basic information about their supposed relationship. Sleep in the same room. But the contract explicitly states separate beds. Sophia feels herself relaxing slightly until she reaches the third page. Her blood turns to ice as she reads the words typed in bold. Rule 1. You will not, under any circumstances, be alone with any male member of the Morelli family or any male guest at the estate. If you need to leave a room, Dante or a designated female family member must accompany you. This rule has no exceptions. Violation of this rule voids the contract immediately. You will receive nothing. Sophia looks up to find Dante watching her with those unreadable dark eyes. What is this? Her voice comes out strangled. Exactly what it says. This is insane. I can't agree to. You can and you will. His voice has hardened, losing any pretense of warmth. That rule is non-negotiable. Break it, and the contract is void. You walk away with nothing. Why? Sophia demands, feeling anger cut through her fear. Why would you put something like this in a contract? What kind of family do you have? Dante stands abruptly, moving to the window. His shoulders are rigid beneath the expensive fabric of his shirt. For a long moment he says nothing, just stares out at the city below. When he finally speaks, his voice is low and dangerous. Because the men in my family don't know how to keep their hands to themselves, he says. Because I've seen what happens to women who catch their attention. Women who are vulnerable. Women who are alone. Women who think family means safety. He turns to face her, and Sophia sees something raw and terrible in his expression. Because I won't have you becoming collateral damage in games I can't always control. The raw honesty in his voice shocks Sophia into silence. My brother Marco, Dante continues, still by the window, has a reputation, a bad one. Women who get too close to him end up hurt, sometimes physically, always emotionally. My uncle Carmine thinks his money entitles him to anything he wants, and he wants a lot. Even my cousins, the younger ones who should know better, they see a beautiful woman and they think she's fair game. He stops, his jaw working. That rule protects you, Sophia. It might seem controlling, but it's the only way I can guarantee your safety in that house. And what about my safety with you? The question emerges softer than Sophia intended. Dante stares at her for a long moment. Then something dangerous flickers in his expression, something that makes Sophia's breath catch. With me, you're untouchable, he says quietly. But that protection only works if you follow the rules. All of them. Without exception. Sophia looks back at the contract. At the impossible sum of money, at the 5 days that would save her from drowning, at the rule that reveals more about his family's darkness than any warning could. "What happens after?" she asks. "When the 5 days are over? You walk away, we go back to our separate lives. I'll tell my family the marriage didn't work out. These things happen." He moves away from the window but keeps his distance. "You'll have your money, your freedom, and no further obligations to me or my family." It sounds simple, too simple. Nothing in Sofia's life has ever been simple. There has to be more. There is. Dante's gaze is steady, unwavering. "While you're there, you belong to me. Not in reality, but in appearance. You'll wear what I choose. Go where I tell you. Speak when I allow it. My family will be watching every interaction, judging every gesture. One mistake, and they'll know it's a lie. So I'm supposed to be your puppet?" "You're supposed to be my wife," Dante corrects. "In my world, wives defer to their husbands. It's not modern, it's not politically correct, and I don't expect you to like it. But it's what my family expects to see. Traditional gender roles, old world dynamics. That's the performance." Sofia's mind races. She thinks about the eviction notice, the collection calls, her father's grave she can barely afford to visit, the future that looks like an endless tunnel with no light. Then she thinks about 5 days pretending to be married to a man who terrifies her. 5 days following rules designed to protect her from his own family. "I need time to think," she says. "You have 5 minutes. Dante checks his watch. "The car leaves for the estate tomorrow morning at 8. Either you're in it or you're not. But Sofia..." He waits until she meets his eyes. "I don't offer second chances. This is your one opportunity. Walk away now, and you'll never see me again." The finality in his voice tells Sofia he means it. She has 5 minutes to decide if she's desperate enough to sign a contract with a man who speaks of protection and possession in the same breath. 5 minutes to choose between drowning in her current life or diving into something that might destroy her in entirely new ways. Sofia looks at the contract again, at the number that would save her, at Rule 1 that would trap her, at the man who's offering her both salvation and danger wrapped in expensive paper. She thinks about her father, about how he taught her that dignity wasn't about money. It was about how you carried yourself when you had nothing. She thinks about survival, about the fact that pride is a luxury she can't afford anymore. "I need a pen," Sofia says. Something blazes in Dante's expression. Triumph, satisfaction, hunger. Maybe all three. He produces an expensive fountain pen from his pocket and hands it to her. The weight of it feels significant in her palm, like she's holding more than just an instrument. She's holding her entire future. Sofia signs her name at the bottom of the contract. Her signature looks small and insignificant next to the bold print. Dante's signature joins hers moments later. Decisive, confident, final. "One more thing," he says as Sofia stands to leave. "Tomorrow morning, a car will pick you up at 7. Bring nothing. No clothes, no photos, no phone. Everything you need will be provided." "Nothing," Sofia repeats, not understanding. "For 5 days, your other life doesn't exist," Dante explains. "Only this one, only us, only the story we're telling." The reality of what she's agreed to crashes over Sofia like ice water. "I don't even know your last name." "Morelli," Dante says. "Dante Morelli. And as of tomorrow, you're Sofia Morelli." He extends his hand. Sofia shakes it, feeling the strength and heat of his grip, feeling the way his thumb brushes across her knuckles in a gesture that feels too intimate for a business arrangement. "Try not to forget it," he says. Then he releases her hand, and Sofia walks out of that brownstone knowing everything has changed. She signed a contract with a man who could destroy her with a phone call. A man whose family is so dangerous, he wrote a rule to protect her from them. A man who, in 5 days, will either save her life or end it in ways she can't imagine. And Sofia Russo, now Sofia Morelli on paper at least, has no idea which one it will be. The black Mercedes arrives at 6:50 the next morning, 10 minutes early. Sofia watches it from her apartment window, this gleaming machine that looks like it was carved from shadows and money. The driver emerges, the same scarred man from Dante's brownstone. He opens the rear door and stands waiting, patient as death. Sofia takes one last look at her apartment, at the life she's leaving behind for 5 days, the eviction notice still on the counter, her father's photo on the shelf, everything small and worn and hers. Then she picks up her empty purse and walks out the door. The car's interior smells like leather and something subtle she can't identify, expensive and clean in a way her world never is. Dante sits in the far corner, scrolling through his phone. He wears a black sweater and dark jeans, somehow making casual look calculated. He doesn't look up as the door closes behind her. "Seatbelt," he says. Sofia fumbles with the mechanism. The car pulls into traffic with a smoothness that speaks of engineering beyond her understanding. They drive in silence for 5 minutes before Dante finally sets down his phone. "You didn't sleep." Not a question. "An observation." "No." "Second thoughts." "About 100 of them." His mouth curves slightly. "But you're here. I signed a contract. Contracts can be broken." Dante shifts, angling his body toward hers. "Are you going to break this one?" "Sofia?" She meets his gaze, sees the test in it. "No." "Good." He reaches into a leather bag at his feet and withdraws a small velvet box. Sofia's heart stutters. "Give me your left hand." She extends it slowly, watches as Dante opens the box to reveal a ring that catches the morning light and transforms it into something magical. The diamond is substantial but not ostentatious. 2 smaller stones flank it. The band itself bears intricate engraving. "It was my grandmother's," Dante says, sliding it onto her finger. "The fit is perfect. She died when I was 12. My grandfather kept it in a safe for years." "I can't wear this," Sofia breathes. "What if something happens to it?" "Then something happens to it." He doesn't release her hand. His thumb traces over the ring, but nothing will. "You'll treat it with the care you treat your own life, because that's what my family will expect." His touch lingers before he pulls back. From the bag, he produces a folder thick with papers. "Everything you need to know about us. How we met, when we married, where we went on our honeymoon. Memorize it." Sofia opens the folder to find page after page of fictional history. They met at a charity gala where Sofia was working coat check. Dante had been immediately taken with her grace. They dated for 6 months before he proposed at a restaurant overlooking the water. They married quietly, just a small ceremony because Sofia preferred intimate gatherings. Their honeymoon had been 2 weeks in Italy, visiting his family's ancestral home. "This is very detailed," Sofia murmurs. "It has to be," Dante says. "My family doesn't accept surface-level lies. They dig until they find truth or blood. Usually both." The drive stretches into hours. They leave the city behind, trading concrete for countryside. Dante takes phone calls in Italian. His voice shifts between commanding and coaxing depending on who's on the other end. Sofia studies the folder, committing facts to memory like she's cramming for an exam that will determine her survival. Because maybe she is. "Tell me about your family," Dante says during a lull between calls. Your real family. Why does that matter? Because they'll ask, and because I need to know if anyone will come looking for you. The words send a chill through Sofia. Should someone be looking for me? Not unless you give them reason to. He watches her with those dark eyes. Answer the question, Sofia. She takes a breath. My mother left when I was 6. I don't remember much about her. My father raised me. He worked construction until his body gave out. Then he took whatever jobs he could find. He got sick 3 years ago, lung cancer. I dropped out of college to take care of him. Her voice cracks despite her efforts. Now he's buried in a cemetery I can't afford to visit. No one's coming to look for you, Sofia finishes. I'm a ghost to anyone who might have cared. Dante is quiet for a long moment. That's not true. Which part? The part where you think no one cares. He leans forward. I care. Because for the next 5 days, you're mine to protect. That means something. It means you need me to play a role. It means more than that. His intensity is almost physical. It means if anyone in that house tries to hurt you, disrespect you, or even looks at you wrong, they answer to me. Do you understand? Sofia doesn't understand. Not really, but she nods anyway. The estate appears like something from another century. Iron gates open to reveal grounds that stretch forever. The main house is enormous, 3 stories of stone and windows, wings extending like arms reaching to embrace or capture. Luxury cars line the circular drive. People move across the grounds, carrying luggage, greeting each other with kisses and laughter that sounds like money. Breathe, Dante commands softly. Remember, you belong here because I say you do. No one questions that. The driver opens Sofia's door and Dante appears at her side immediately. His hand finds the small of her back, warm, possessive. She's wearing clothes he provided, a cashmere coat that probably costs more than 3 months of her rent. Everything about her is borrowed. Everything except the fear. Dante! A woman's voice rings out. She descends the front steps with confidence, dark hair, designer clothes, everything expensive. Finally, Nono's been asking about you every 5 minutes. Francesca, Dante says with affection. This is my cousin. Francesca, my wife Sofia. Francesca's eyes widen when she sees the ring. That's Nonna Lucia's ring. Things changed, Dante says. Francesca looks between them, calculation visible. Well, this is going to be interesting. Come. Nono is in the study. He'll want to meet her immediately. As they follow her inside, Dante leans close to Sofia's ear. She's already suspicious. Be careful. The study smells of cigar smoke and old leather. An elderly man sits behind an enormous desk. White hair, sharp eyes. Even seated, his presence fills the room. This is a man accustomed to obedience. No, Dante says formally. I'd like you to meet my wife, Sofia. The old man stands slowly, using a cane. So, the mysterious bride. Come here, girl. Let me look at you. Sofia glances at Dante, who nods. She approaches the desk. The old man catches her left hand, examining the ring with a jeweler's attention. You gave her Lucia's ring. Bold choice. She deserved it, Dante says from behind Sofia. Did she? The old man releases her hand. Tell me, Sofia, what do you see in my grandson? It's a trap. Sofia can feel it. I see a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to claim it. Diplomatic. But I asked what you see, not what you think I want to hear. Sofia takes a breath, chooses honesty over safety. I see someone who carries weight that would crush most people, someone who's learned to turn that weight into armor, and someone who's lonely in a way that has nothing to do with being alone. The silence that follows feels deafening. Then the old man smiles. Interesting. Very interesting. Dante, you've chosen well. He waves them away. Go get settled. Dinner is at 7. Everyone will be there. As they leave, Dante's hand finds Sofia's. His grip is tight, almost painful. He doesn't speak until they reach their room. Then he closes the door and turns on her. What the hell was that? What? That thing you said, about me being lonely. Where did that come from? He asked and I answered, Sofia says, backing up a step. Was I wrong? That's not the point. Dante runs a hand through his hair. You can't see things you're not supposed to see and say them out loud. I thought I was supposed to convince them we're really married. You are, but not like that. He seems to struggle with words. My grandfather is dangerous. He collects information. You just gave him ammunition. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Forget it. Dante moves to the window. Just be more careful. Sofia finally looks around the room. It's beautiful. A massive 4-poster bed, antique furniture, and there, in the corner, a smaller bed. The separation they agreed upon. Dinner is formal, Dante says without turning. Your clothes are in the closet. Red dress. Wear it. Dante, I need to make calls. Stay in this room. Don't open the door for anyone but me. He finally looks at her. Remember Rule 1, Sofia. It starts now. He leaves. Sofia hears the lock engage. She's alone in a gilded cage, wearing a dead woman's ring, carrying a false name, and already failing at the role she's being paid to play. She moves to the window. People move below like chess pieces in a game she doesn't understand. Somewhere in that house are men Dante fears will hurt her. Somewhere below, his grandfather is analyzing every word she said, and somewhere inside her chest is a traitorous flutter that feels dangerously close to excitement. Because for 5 days, she belongs to someone who sees her as more than invisible. For 5 days, she matters enough to protect. Even if it's all a lie. The ring catches afternoon light and throws rainbows across the room. Sofia touches it gently. In 5 days, she'll return it. In 5 days, she'll go back to being no one. But right now, for this moment, she's Sofia Morelli, and she has no idea if that will save her or destroy her. The red dress fits like it was made for her body, silk that whispers against skin, a neckline that suggests rather than reveals. When Sofia looks in the mirror, she barely recognizes herself. Her hair falls in soft waves. The makeup artist who appeared made her exhaustion look like elegance. She's studying her reflection when the door opens. Dante enters and freezes. His eyes travel from her face to her shoes and back. Something dangerous flickers in his expression before he controls it. Turn around. Sofia obeys. He circles her slowly. His finger traces along her shoulder blade. Perfect. He withdraws another velvet box. Inside lies a necklace that makes Sofia's breath catch. Diamonds and rubies. I can't wear that. You will. He fastens it around her throat. His fingers brush her nape and she shivers. In my world, a wife wears her husband's gifts. He turns her to face him. Tonight will be difficult. 23 people at dinner. Most will try to find cracks in our story. What do I do? Stay close to me. Let me speak for us when appropriate. Remember everything we rehearsed. His hands rest on her shoulders. And if anyone makes you uncomfortable, you tell me immediately. Yes. Good. But he doesn't release her. His gaze drops to her mouth. For a breathless moment, Sofia thinks he might kiss her. Then he steps back abruptly. My brother will be there, Marco. Under no circumstances do you let him isolate you. I remember Rule 1. Rule 1 isn't enough with Marco. Dante moves to the door. He has a gift for finding what people fear and exploiting it. Don't give him ammunition. The dining room could host a wedding. The table stretches forever, set with china and crystal. People gather in expensive clothes, carrying cocktails and conversation. Dante's hand finds Sofia's back. Eyes turn toward them like sunflowers seeking sun. Conversations shift. A man who has to be Dante's brother approaches. Same dark coloring, but softer somehow. There he is, my little brother, and this must be the bride. Marco, Dante's tone carries warning. This is Sofia. Marco takes her hand, brings it to his lips. Enchanted. Tell me, Sofia, how did you trap my notoriously commitment-phobic brother? I didn't trap anyone. No? Then perhaps he trapped you. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Dante always did have a talent for getting what he wants. Marco, Dante's voice drops to something lethal. Back off. I'm just being friendly. Back. Off. The tension could choke. Sofia feels Dante's hand press harder against her back, feels coiled violence in his body. Marco finally laughs and raises his hands. My apologies, Sofia. Welcome to the family. He moves away, but his gaze lingers. He's going to be a problem, Sofia whispers. He's always a problem, Dante says. Stay on my right. Don't let anyone separate us. Dinner is elaborate. Multiple courses. Sofia can barely taste any of it. Dante's grandfather holds court, telling stories that make everyone laugh. Francesca watches from across the table. Marco sits 4 seats down where he can observe. So, Sofia, an older woman says during the 3rd course. Tell us about your family. The question Sofia dreaded. I'm from the city. My father passed away a few years ago. My mother left when I was young. How tragic, the woman says with sharp eyes. And what did your father do? Construction. Then various jobs after his health declined. Construction. She repeats it like it tastes bad. How industrious. My father was a good man, Sofia says, hearing steel in her voice. He worked hard. I'm sure he did, dear. It's just unusual for Dante to choose someone from such a different background. That's enough, Sofia. Dante's voice cuts through conversation. My wife's background is none of your concern. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. He sets down his fork with deliberate care. Sofia's family may not have our name or money, but she has something more valuable. Integrity, grace, strength. His hand finds Sofia's under the table. Things some people at this table wouldn't recognize. The table goes silent. Even Nonno stops eating. Well said, grandson. The old man finally speaks. Love doesn't concern itself with bank accounts. Tension breaks slightly, but Dante's hand remains locked around Sofia's. She can feel rage vibrating through him. Thank you, she whispers. Don't thank me for defending what's mine, he says low. No one disrespects you while you wear my ring. The possessiveness should frighten her. Instead, it kindles something warm and dangerous in Sofia's chest. After dinner, people drift away. Dante keeps Sofia at his side, his hand never leaving her back or waist. Every touch reinforces the same message. Mine. I need air, Sofia finally says, overwhelmed. There's a terrace upstairs. Dante starts to guide her, but Francesca intercepts. Dante, Nonno wants to speak with you about Naples. He tenses. It can wait. Now. Francesca's expression is apologetic but firm. I'll keep Sofia company. Dante's reluctance is visible. 10 minutes, no more. I'll be fine, Sofia assures him. He leans close. Stay with Francesca. Don't go anywhere alone. Then he's gone. Francesca links her arm through Sofia's. Come, let's get that air. On the terrace, the night is cold and clear. So, Francesca says, lighting a cigarette, want to tell me what's really going on? I don't. Please. I've known Dante my entire life. This marriage appeared out of nowhere. I'm not stupid. Before Sofia can answer, a voice calls from inside. There you are. Marco steps onto the terrace. I need to steal the bride for a moment. Family tradition. Francesca hesitates. That can wait. It can't. Marco moves closer. Just a few minutes, Francesca. You understand? Sofia sees Francesca decide not to interfere. Don't be long. Dante will be furious. Marco's hand lands on Sofia's elbow. This way. Every instinct screams at Sofia to refuse, but she can't cause a scene, can't expose everything. Marco guides her inside, down a corridor away from the party. Where are we going? My study. Just down here. They turn a corner. The sounds of the party fade. Sofia's heart hammers. She's breaking Rule 1. She knows she's breaking it, but she doesn't know how to stop without revealing everything. Marco opens a door. After you. The room is smaller than Nonno's study. Sofia stays near the door. What did you want to talk about? About you and my brother. Marco pours 2 drinks. There's nothing. Don't lie. You're not good at it. He turns. Dante is many things, but impulsive isn't one of them. Yet suddenly he's married to a waitress wearing our grandmother's ring. Something doesn't add up. Maybe you're not as smart as you think. The words escape before Sofia can stop them. Marco's expression darkens. Careful. You might be Dante's latest obsession, but that protection only extends so far. What do you want from me? The truth. His hand comes up and Sofia flinches, but he only touches the necklace at her throat. These are real. The ring is real. But are you? Get your hand off her. Dante's voice cuts through the room like winter wind. He stands in the doorway, and the rage on his face is terrifying. Marco drops his hand. We were just talking. You were touching what belongs to me. Dante crosses the space in 3 strides. Get out. This is my study. I don't care if it's the Sistine Chapel. Get out. Marco laughs, but there's no humor. She's got you twisted up, little brother. Dante's fist connects with Marco's jaw so fast, Sofia barely sees it move. Marco staggers back, blood blooming from his split lip. For a moment, Sofia thinks he'll retaliate. Then Nonno's voice rings from the hallway. Enough. The old man fills the doorway. Behind him stand several family members. What is the meaning of this? Marco violated the one rule I gave him, Dante says, his voice deadly calm. He isolated my wife and put his hands on her. I barely... You had no right to touch her at all. Dante finally looks at his grandfather. I told everyone she stays with me or designated family. Marco knew that rule. He broke it anyway. Nonno's gaze moves between his grandsons, lands on Sofia. Is this true, child? Did Marco harm you? He frightened me, Sofia says honestly, but Dante arrived before anything could happen. The old man nods slowly. Marco, you will apologize and stay away from her for the remainder of this visit. Marco's jaw works. My apologies, Arya. The words are hollow. Dante's hand finds Sofia's. We're retiring for the evening. No one argues. They walk through gathered family. Sofia feels stares like brands. Back in their room with the door locked, Dante pulls her against him. His arms wrap around her with desperate strength. Did he hurt you? No. You got there in time. I should have stayed with you. I never should have left you alone. His hand cradles the back of her head. If he had touched you, if he had hurt you, but he didn't. Sofia pulls back to look at his face. Blood still stains his knuckles. Let me clean your hand. In the bathroom, she runs warm water over his damaged knuckles. As she works, she feels his eyes on her, heavy with something she can't name. You defended me, she says quietly. You hit your own brother. He broke the rules. He touched what was mine. His free hand catches her chin. Do you understand yet, Sofia? This isn't just an act. While you're here, while you wear my ring, you're under my protection, and I protect what's mine. The possessiveness in his voice should terrify her. Instead, it makes something inside Sofia melt. She thinks of all the times she's been invisible, disposable. And now this dangerous man is claiming her like she matters. Thank you, she whispers. His thumb brushes across her lower lip. Don't thank me. Just promise you won't break the rules again. I promise. Good. But he doesn't release her. They stand in the bathroom's soft light, his hand on her face, hers wrapped around his damaged knuckles, breathing the same air. When he finally steps back, the loss feels like abandonment. Get some sleep. Tomorrow will be worse. Christmas Day always brings out the worst in my family. Sofia changes into silk pajamas. Dante has already claimed his smaller bed, stripped to his waist. Tattoos she glimpsed before now fully visible. Saints and sinners inked across his skin. She climbs into the large bed. The sheets smell like him. She closes her eyes and tries to quiet her racing heart. Sofia. His voice comes through darkness. Yes? I meant what I said. You're mine to protect. Remember that. Sofia touches the ring on her finger, the necklace at her throat. 3 more days. She has 3 more days of being his. And God help her, she's not sure she wants them to end. Christmas morning arrives with snow falling beyond the windows. Sofia wakes to find Dante already dressed, speaking Italian on his phone. The smaller bed is empty, its sheets undisturbed. He never slept. Buon Natale, he says when the call ends. Merry Christmas, Sofia replies, voice rough with sleep. He approaches the bed. She's still in pajamas. His gaze travels over her before he catches himself. There's breakfast downstairs, then gift exchange, then Christmas dinner. He sits on the edge of the bed. My family goes all out for Christmas. It's the one day we pretend we're normal. Are you ever normal? Not since I was 12. Something dark crosses his face. Get dressed. The green dress. He stands. And Sofia, stay close to me today. Especially close. The warning sends ice through her veins. What's wrong? Nothing yet? But Marco isn't done. He's humiliated. Humiliated men in my family do stupid things. Sofia dresses in the green silk that brings out warmth in her skin. When she emerges, Dante looks up from his phone, that arrested expression again. Beautiful, he murmurs, then seems to catch himself. He offers his arm. Ready? The house has transformed overnight. Garlands everywhere. A massive tree covered in ornaments. The smell of cinnamon and pine. Family members gather in the living room, already drinking champagne at 9 a.m. Nono presides from his chair, directing with his cane. When he sees them, his face creases into warmth. Ah, the newlyweds. Come sit. Dante guides Sofia to a love seat. His arm drapes across her shoulders. His thumb traces absent patterns on her upper arm. Gift exchange is lavish. Boxes wrapped in expensive paper, jewelry, watches, designer clothes. Sofia receives gifts from family members she barely knows. A scarf from Francesca, perfume from Aunt Sofia, a bracelet from an uncle. Then Dante hands her a box wrapped in silver. From me. Inside lies a first edition of a book Sofia mentioned once in their rehearsed history, a novel about a woman who lost everything and rebuilt herself. The cover is pristine. How did you... She looks up, shocked. This costs thousands. I know what it costs. His expression is unreadable. I also know you sold all your books to pay bills. Consider this the first of many you'll own again. The gesture hit Sofia like a physical blow. He listened. He remembered. He cared enough to find something that mattered. Thank you, she whispers, tears threatening. You're welcome, wife. He pulls her closer, pressing a kiss to her temple that feels less like performance and more like something real. Sofia had gotten him a gift too, a vintage fountain pen using money he'd given her for expenses. When he opens it, something shifts in his expression. My father had one like this before he died. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Don't apologize. He tests the pen's weight. It's perfect. The moment breaks when Marco enters with a woman on his arm. For the happy couple. A gift certificate for a romantic weekend getaway. Thought you two might enjoy some time alone. The emphasis on alone is deliberate. Dante takes the envelope without opening it. Very thoughtful. Aren't you going to read it? Marco presses. Dante's jaw tightens. We'll consider it. You do that. Marco's gaze slides to Sofia. After all, every marriage needs testing. See if it survives outside controlled environments. Marco! Nono's voice cracks like a whip. Enough! But damage is done. The room has gone quiet. Perhaps we should open the wine, Sofia hears herself say. It would be rude not to accept such a generous gift. The deflection works. Marco backs off. Dante's hand finds Sofia's under cover of her skirt. Squeezes once. Gratitude or warning, she can't tell. The rest of Christmas Day passes in forced cheer and underlying tension. By dinner, Sofia's face hurts from smiling. Dante barely leaves her side, his touch constant, a hand on her back, fingers laced through hers, his body angled to shield her. You're exhausted, he observes as they climb stairs to change. I'm fine. You're a terrible liar. He unlocks their door. Rest. I have business before dinner. I'll be back in an hour. What kind of business? The kind you don't want to know about. He catches her face in his hands. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. Yes. But he doesn't move. He stands there holding her face, his dark eyes searching for something. 3 more days, he says softly. 3 more days and you're free. The words should bring relief. Instead, they feel like mourning. He leaves. Sofia locks the door and collapses onto the bed, still wearing the green dress. Too tired to care about wrinkles, her mind races, the gifts, the tension, Marco's threats. But beneath it all is something else. The way Dante looks at her, the way his touch lingers, the way he chose a gift that meant something. These aren't actions of a man playing a role. She must have dozed because she wakes to shouting from below, male voices raised in anger, Italian words she doesn't understand but rage transcends language. A crash, breaking glass, more shouting, then silence so complete it's worse than noise. Sofia is at the door before consciously deciding to move, her hand on the lock, but Dante's words echo, "Don't open it for anyone but me." Footsteps in the hallway, multiple sets, moving fast. A knock makes her jump. "Sofia." Francesca's voice, tight with stress. "Open the door, quickly." Sofia hesitates. Dante said only him. But Francesca is designated family, and something is clearly wrong. She unlocks the door. Francesca slips inside, face pale. "Get your things, the clothes you came in, whatever's yours." "What? Why?" "Because Dante just beat Marco half to death in Nonno's study. The family is fracturing. You need to be ready to leave." "What happened?" "Marco said something. I don't know what, but Dante snapped. Really snapped." Francesca moves to the closet. Nonno is trying to calm things, but the door bursts open. Dante fills the frame, his shirt torn, knuckles bleeding, face carved from stone. "Out, Francesca!" She flees. Dante closes the door, locks it, turns to Sofia. Blood spatters his collar. His chest heaves. "What happened?" Sofia whispers. "Marco can't keep his mouth shut." His voice is gravel. "He implied things about you. About what kind of woman would marry me." He crosses to her in 3 strides. "I told him if he said your name again, I'd kill him." He laughed. "So I made sure he understood I wasn't joking." "Dante, don't." His hands frame her face. "Don't tell me I overreacted. Don't tell me he's family. I already know." "I wasn't going to," Sofia says. "I was going to say thank you." Something breaks in his expression. "You shouldn't thank me. You should run from me." "Why?" The question escapes before Sofia can stop it. "Why do you care so much? This is just an arrangement. In 3 days, I'm gone." His laugh is bitter. "You think I don't know that? You think I haven't been counting hours until you disappear?" His thumbs stroke her cheekbones. "But while you're here, while you wear my ring, you're mine, and I protect what's mine. Even when it's temporary, even when it destroys me." The raw honesty cracks something open inside Sofia. What if I don't want to be temporary? The words hang between them like held breath. Dante's eyes search hers, looking for deception, for anything except truth. "Don't," he says roughly. "Don't say things like that unless you mean them." "I mean them." Sofia's hands slide to grip his forearms. "I came here for money, for survival. But somewhere between your grandfather's study and tonight, something changed. Sofia, you made me feel like I mattered, like I was worth defending, like I was worth something." He kisses her. Not gently. He kisses her like drowning, like she's air. His hands tangle in her hair. His body presses hers against the door. Sofia kisses him back with equal desperation. Tasting blood and anger and something that feels like need. When they break apart, both breathing hard, he rests his forehead against hers. "This is insane," he says. "I know. I'm not a good man. I do terrible things. I know that too. You should take your money and run." His hands gentle in her hair. "You deserve better than what I can offer. What if I don't want to run? Then you're as crazy as I am." He kisses her again. Softer but no less consuming. "And God help us both." A sharp knock interrupts. "Dante." Nonno's voice. "We need to talk. Now." Dante's eyes close briefly. "Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone." "What's going to happen?" "I don't know, but you're protected. I'll make sure of it." He cups her face one more time. "Trust me, Sofia." "I do." The surprise in his expression nearly breaks her. Then he's gone. Sofia locks the door and sinks to the floor, the taste of him still on her lips, the certainty that nothing will ever be the same settling over her like snow. She touched the ring on her finger. 3 more days. She has 3 more days of being his. But after tonight, after that kiss, after, what if I don't want to be temporary? Sofia isn't sure either of them can go back to pretending this is just a contract. Outside, snow continues to fall, silent and relentless and beautiful. Inside, Sofia Morelli waits to find out if she just made the best decision of her life or signed her own destruction in blood and diamonds and desperate kisses that tasted like forever.